He didn't know the little girl crying in the snow would lead him to the one person who could change everything. December 24th, 7:47 p.m., Union Terminal. Christmas music blasted through the speakers. Jingle bells on repeat. A giant tree stood in the center, 20 feet tall, lights flashing red and gold. Families everywhere, hugging, laughing. A Santa volunteer handing out candy canes. Elijah Carter knelt on the cold floor. 17 years old, navy coat with 2 missing buttons, sneakers held together with duct tape. The little girl in front of him wore a red velvet dress, expensive looking. She clutched a torn, stuffed rabbit and sobbed. "I can't find my mommy." Elijah had $6.70 in his pocket. His entire Christmas budget. His bus, the last one to his grandmother's house, would leave in 18 minutes. He should walk away. But he couldn't. What happened next would change both their lives forever. But let's back up. Because you need to understand who Elijah Carter was before that night. You need to know what he was risking. 3 years earlier, Elijah's parents died in a car accident. He was 14. His little sister Zara was 11. Most kids that age worry about homework and video games. Elijah became a parent overnight. Now 17, he lived in a converted warehouse apartment with Zara, who was 14. Rent was $680 a month. He was 11 days late. Every morning started the same. 5:30 a.m. alarm. Make breakfast for Zara, pack her lunch, walk her to the bus stop, then school. Roosevelt High, 7:45 to 2:30, then work. Rosie's Diner, 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. Dishwasher, busboy, whatever Gloria needed. This week's paycheck? $143 after taxes. Do the math. It doesn't add up. Their grandmother, Miss Ruth, lived across town. 72 years old. Hip surgery 3 months ago. She couldn't take them in. So Elijah figured it out. He always figured it out. Walking 45 minutes instead of taking the bus. Saved $250. Eating crackers from the break room instead of his employee meal. Gave that meal to the homeless man outside. Wearing the same coat for 3 winters. Navy blue. Missing 2 buttons now. His sneakers had a hole in the sole. He covered it with duct tape. That morning, Christmas Eve morning, Roosevelt High was decorated. Small tree in the lobby, kids exchanging gifts. "What did your parents get you?" one girl asked another. "AirPods, and we're going skiing in Aspen." Elijah sat alone in the corner, ate his sandwich, did his homework. A classmate stopped by his table. "Hey, Elijah, what's your family doing tonight?" He looked up, forced a smile. "Dinner with my grandma. Normal stuff." "Oh, that's nice." That tone, that pitying tone. He hated it. She walked away. Elijah went back to his homework. He had a calculus test after break. Couldn't afford to fail. No time to study at home. Too busy taking care of Zara. That afternoon, his shift at Rosie's Diner started at 3. The diner was decorated too. Lights twinkling around the windows, fake wreath on the door. Radio playing "I'll Be Home for Christmas." Every lyric felt like a knife. A family of 4 came in, parents and 2 kids. The kids wore matching red sweaters, reindeer patterns. "Can we get the holiday special?" the dad asked. Turkey, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, $78, nearly 2 days of Elijah's wages. The 5-year-old boy held a wrapped present, big box, shiny paper with ribbons. "Mommy, will Santa come tonight?" "Of course, sweetie." Elijah washed their dishes in the back, heard their laughter through the wall. Zara was 14 now. She didn't believe in Santa anymore, but she still deserved a real Christmas. The present he got her? A used book. $4 at the thrift store. The Hate You Give. She'd mentioned it once, wanted to read it. $4 was all he could spare. Gloria, his manager, came into the kitchen. 50-something, kind eyes. She'd known Elijah since he was small. You okay, baby? You look exhausted. I'm fine, Miss Gloria. She studied his face. You're working too hard. I'm okay. Really. She didn't believe him, but she let it go. At 6:45 p.m., his shift ended. Gloria handed him his tips, $16.70. He'd walked to work that morning, saved the bus fare. Now he had $21.70 total. $15 went into the envelope for rent, hidden under his mattress at home. That left $6.70. He'd planned to buy Miss Ruth her favorite lavender hand cream. $3.50 at the drugstore. That would leave $3.20 for emergencies. The plan was simple. Catch the 8:15 bus to Riverside, 40-minute ride to Grandma's house. She'd been talking about tonight for weeks. Their tradition, the only one left from before. Decorate her tiny plastic tree, the one she'd had for 15 years. Some lights didn't work anymore. Eat her famous sweet potato pie, the recipe Elijah's dad loved. Go to midnight church service together. Zara was already there, took the early bus after school. Miss Ruth kept texting. Where are you? Zara's here. Pie's ready. We're waiting. Elijah checked his phone. 3 texts, all asking when he'd arrive. He typed back, leaving work now, be there by 9. He walked to the terminal, saved another $2.50. Now he had $6.70 in his pocket. Union Terminal at 7:30 p.m. on Christmas Eve was chaos. The tree in the center was massive, 20 feet, lights pulsing to the music, silver and gold tinsel everywhere. Merry Christmas in neon. Starbucks had a line out the door, red holiday cups, whipped cream, cinnamon smell. Families pulling suitcases. Everyone in thick winter coats. Canada Goose, North Face, Patagonia. Elijah walked through them in his coat with missing buttons. No one looked at him. He was invisible. People held shopping bags, wrapped presents with bows, hot chocolate in expensive cups. A couple took a selfie by the tree. They were laughing. Kids ran past, shrieking with joy. It's snowing outside, look! Everyone was going somewhere warm, somewhere full of love. Elijah checked the departure board. Platform 6, bus 47 to Riverside. Boarding at 8:15. He had 28 minutes. He headed toward Platform 6. Then he heard it. A sound different from the Christmas chaos. Not laughter. Not music. Crying. Desperate. Terrified crying. He almost kept walking. He should have kept walking. But something made him stop. And when he turned around, he saw her. Most people were rushing past her. Elijah almost did too. But then she looked up. A little girl, 6 years old, blonde curls, red velvet dress. She sat on the floor between 2 plastic chairs, near the coffee stand. Near the coffee, people stepped around her like she was part of the furniture. She was sobbing, not the tantrum kind, the terrified kind. Her face was blotchy and red, tears streaming, hiccuping between breaths. No coat, just that red dress, white tights with a tear at the knee. She clutched a stuffed gray rabbit, one ear hung by threads. Elijah checked his watch. 18 minutes until his bus. He looked at Platform 6, then back at the girl. Security would handle it. That was their job. But where were they? How long had she been sitting there? Around them, the terminal was pure Christmas chaos. Deck the Halls played overhead. The giant tree pulsed with lights. A group of carolers sang nearby. Families laughed. Kids chased each other. And this little girl sat alone, terrified. Elijah walked over, knelt down. Hey, are you lost? She looked at him, nodded, couldn't speak through the tears. Where's your mom? The question made it worse. Fresh sobs. I don't... We were getting coffee and I saw... She pointed at the Christmas tree. "I saw that and I ran to look, and when I came back she was gone." Her voice rose to a wail on the last word. "Okay, okay, it's okay." Elijah kept his voice calm. "What's your mom's name?" The girl's face went blank. "Mommy?" "Right. She was 6. What does she call you?" "Sophie." "Sophie. That's a pretty name." "I'm Elijah." Sophie wiped her nose with her hand. "Everyone keeps walking away." Elijah's chest tightened. He looked around. The coffee stand was 50 feet away, absolutely packed with people. A security guard walked past, moving fast. "Excuse me," Elijah called. The guard barely glanced over. "Information desk, main floor. They'll make an announcement." Then he disappeared into the crowd. Elijah checked his watch again. 16 minutes. The information desk was on the other side of the terminal. If he took Sophie there, waited for them to process everything, made sure someone responsible had her, he'd miss his bus. The next one wasn't until tomorrow morning. Christmas Day service was limited. Miss Ruth was waiting. The pie was ready. Zara kept texting. This was their one tradition, the only thing he'd kept alive from before. "Please don't leave me," Sophie whispered. Elijah looked at her. Really looked. Her dress had a small monogram on the collar. SV looked expensive. Her shoes were patent leather, shiny. Everything about her said money. But right now she was just a scared little girl. He remembered being 7, getting separated from his mom at a county fair. That hollow terror, like the world had ended. Someone had found him, stayed with him, made him feel safe. Sophie's hand was ice cold. She was shivering. "What does your mom look like?" he asked. "She has brown hair and a black coat. And her phone. She always has her phone." Elijah's heart sank. That described half the women in this terminal. His phone buzzed. Text from Zara. "Where are you? Grandma keeps asking." The departure board flashed. Route 47 to Riverside. Boarding final call. Around them, Christmas went on. Silent Night started playing. A family walked past, arms full of presents. The kids were singing along to the music. Elijah took off his coat. It was the only one he had. Navy blue, missing buttons. But it was warm. He wrapped it around Sophie's shoulders. It swallowed her. Sleeves hung past her hands. "I'm not going anywhere," he said. "We're going to find your mom." Sophie looked up at him. First small smile. "Promise?" "Promise." She took his hand, held tight. Now Elijah stood in just his thin work shirt. The terminal was cold, but Sophie had stopped shivering. "Okay, Sophie, we're a team now. Teams don't give up." She nodded, wiped her face with his coat sleeve. He looked toward the VIP lounge area. Roped off. Security guard at the door. Sophie had pointed that direction earlier, said she thought they came from there. Strange. That was for business class travelers. Executives. VIPs. As they started walking, a woman in a black pantsuit rushed past. She had an earpiece, talking urgently into a phone. "No, I'm telling you, she's not in the lounge. We've checked everywhere. Mrs. V is..." She moved out of earshot. Elijah filed it away. Didn't think much of it. His phone buzzed again. Zara. Just question marks this time. He silenced it. Put it in his pocket. Platform 6 was behind him now. His bus would leave without him. But Sophie held his hand and looked up at him with complete trust. And Elijah kept his promise. He always kept his promises. What he didn't know was that this promise would change everything. Elijah had no idea that every choice he made in the next 30 minutes was being watched. They started at the coffee stand. The barista was a teenage girl, maybe 16, stressed, moving fast. "Excuse me," Elijah said. Did you see this little girl's mom? She was here buying hot chocolate. The girl barely looked up. We get hundreds of customers. I can't track everyone. Try lost and found. She turned away before he could ask more. Sophie's lip trembled, starting to cry again. Elijah knelt down, eye level. Hey, look at me. We're a team, remember? Teams don't give up. She nodded, wiped her eyes with his coat sleeve. What was your mom buying? He asked. Hot chocolate, for me, with extra marshmallows. Good. What else do you remember? Sophie closed her eyes, thinking hard. There was Christmas music, and she was talking on her phone. She sounded worried. Elijah stood, looked around. The terminal was massive. 3 floors, dozens of platforms, thousands of people. How do you find one woman in this? Come on, he said. Let's try the information desk. They walked through the crowd. Elijah held Sophie's hand tight. They passed a toy store window. Designer dollhouse. Twinkling lights. $500 price tag. Sophie stopped. Stared. Mommy promised to buy me that house, she whispered. Elijah's throat tightened. Zara had never had a dollhouse. She'd never complained. We'll find her, he said. I promise. The information desk had a long line. At least 30 people, holiday travelers, complaints, questions, confusion. Sophie looked at the line. That's going to take forever. She was right. The clerk at the desk was older, kind face but frazzled, moving as fast as she could. When they finally reached the front, she handed Elijah a form. Fill this out. We'll make an announcement. Elijah looked at the form. Parent's full name, contact number, physical description. Sophie, what's your mom's phone number? It's in her phone. What's her full name? Sophie's face went blank. Mommy. 6 years old. Of course she didn't know. The clerk sighed. Without contact information, an announcement won't help much. She has to come here to claim her. But what if she's looking somewhere else? Elijah asked. Then you wait here, or you can walk around. But don't leave the building. This wasn't going to work. Elijah made a decision. Come on, Sophie, we're going to retrace your steps. They left the desk, started walking back. You said you saw the Christmas tree, and your mom was at the coffee stand. Where did you go to the bathroom? Sophie's eyes lit up. Yes, the bathroom. We went to the bathroom before the coffee. They found the family restroom near platform 3. Elijah asked a passing woman to check inside. He couldn't go in himself. The woman came out. No one's there, honey. But Sophie was looking around. Wait, the vending machines. Mommy got quarters to buy me M&Ms. She pointed at a small alcove. Vending machines. A bench. And there, partially hidden under a newspaper, a black leather handbag. Sophie gasped. That's Mommy's bag. Elijah picked it up carefully, opened it. Designer wallet. He didn't recognize the brand, but it looked expensive. Credit cards. Name on them, Victoria Ashford Vaughn. Business cards. All the same. Vaughn Industries. Office of the CEO. A phone. Locked. No emergency contact visible. She was sitting right here, Sophie said. Where did she go? Elijah's mind raced. If her mom left the bag here, she probably went looking for Sophie. But where? A security guard walked past. Excuse me, Elijah called. This guard stopped. Yeah? We found this bag, and this little girl is lost. Her mom might have left it here and gone searching. The guard took the bag, looked at the cards inside. His entire demeanor changed. He grabbed his radio. I've got a child's mother's belongings. Family restroom area, platform 3. Static, then a voice. Copy that. Bring the child to the VIP lounge immediately. We have the mother. The guard looked at Elijah. "Come with me. Now." As they walked, Elijah noticed something. More security. Moving with purpose. All heading the same direction. Not regular terminal security. Private. Expensive suits. Earpieces. Sophie was chattering. "We found her! You found her!" But Elijah felt something was off. Why so much security? Why the urgency? The VIP lounge was roped off. 2 guards at the entrance. And standing there, the woman in the black pantsuit from earlier. The one on the phone. She spoke into her earpiece. "We have her. Repeat, we have the child. Alert Mrs. Vaughn immediately." The guards parted. The door opened. Inside was different. Quieter. Warmer. Leather chairs. Soft lighting. Classical Christmas music. Not the chaotic pop outside, a tray of gourmet cookies, hot beverages in real mugs. This was a different world. And standing by the window, back turned on a phone, was a woman in an elegant black coat. She turned around. The moment she saw Sophie, everything changed. Her phone fell from her hand, shattered on the marble floor. She didn't even glance at it. She ran, dropped to her knees. "Sophie! Oh my God! Sophie!" Sophie ran into her arms. Both of them are crying now. The woman was shaking, holding Sophie's face, checking her over. "Are you okay? Are you hurt? They've been looking everywhere, I thought." She couldn't finish, just held Sophie tight. "I'm okay, Mommy. This boy helped me. He promised he wouldn't leave." The woman looked up. Her eyes met Elijah's. She was maybe late 30s, composed, expensive everything. Hair perfect even now. But her eyes were red from crying. She studied Elijah, took in his thin work shirt, no coat, duct-taped sneakers, the way he stood, uncertain, out of place. Sophie was still wearing his coat, wrapped around her like a blanket. "You found my daughter," the woman said. It wasn't a question. She was by the coffee stand, alone. Elijah's voice was quiet. "I just wanted to make sure she was safe." The woman stood slowly, still holding Sophie's hand. "How long were you with her?" Elijah checked his watch. "About 40 minutes. The woman in the pantsuit stepped forward. "Mrs. Vaughn, we had 12 security personnel searching. The police were about to be called." Mrs. Vaughn. The name on the business cards. Elijah's brain was starting to catch up. Vaughn Industries, CEO, private security, VIP lounge. This wasn't just some mom. Victoria Vaughn studied him. Her eyes were sharp, calculating. "You stayed with her for 40 minutes. I wasn't going to leave her alone, ma'am." "You missed something," she said. "A bus? An appointment?" Elijah hesitated. "It's okay. I'll catch the next one." Sophie spoke up, innocent. "He was going to his grandma's for Christmas. I asked him not to leave and he stayed." Something shifted in Victoria's face. Not just gratitude, something deeper. Recognition. She was looking at him differently now, seeing the missing coat, the duct-taped shoes, the choice he'd made. "What's your name?" "Elijah. Elijah Carter." Victoria extended her hand. Formal, but her grip was warm. "Victoria Vaughn, I don't know how to thank you." Around them, the security team watched. The pantsuit woman, Ms. Reeves apparently, was on her phone. Quiet conversation. Elijah felt exposed, out of place. He didn't belong in this room. But Sophie was safe. That's what mattered. "I'm just glad she's okay," he said. Victoria looked at him for a long moment, like she was seeing something he couldn't. Then she spoke. And everything started to change. Elijah expected a thank you. He got something else entirely. Victoria reached for her purse, the one Elijah had been holding, the one he handed to security. She pulled out her wallet, opened it. $500 bills, crisp, new. She held them out. Please, let me. This isn't enough, but at least for your bus fare, for your time. Elijah stepped back, reflexive. No, ma'am. I didn't do it for money. Victoria paused, studied him again. Ms. Reeves, the woman in the pantsuit, stepped forward. Mrs. Vaughn, perhaps we could arrange a car service? Then let me do that, Victoria said, still looking at Elijah. Let me pay for a car, to take you wherever you need to go. It's the least. Really, I'm okay. Elijah's voice was gentle but firm. The buses are still running. I'm just glad Sophie's safe. Around them, the security team watched, surprised. People didn't say no to Victoria Vaughn. Sophie was looking up at Elijah. His coat was still wrapped around her shoulders. Mommy, it's cold outside. He gave me his jacket. Victoria's eyes widened slightly. She looked at Elijah properly for the first time. No coat, just a thin work shirt, still damp from melted snow. She could see him shivering, trying to hide it. You gave her your coat. She was freezing. Victoria's expression changed, understanding something deeper. This wasn't just about finding her daughter. This was about sacrifice. How old are you, Elijah? 17, ma'am? You're in high school. Yes, ma'am. Victoria was quiet for a moment, thinking. Then she reached into her purse again. Not for money this time. She pulled out a business card, heavy cardstock, embossed lettering. She turned it over, wrote something on the back with an expensive pen. Elijah, I respect that you don't want payment, but please. She held out the card. If you ever need anything, a reference for a job, help with school, anything at all, call this number. It's my direct line. Elijah took the card, read it. Victoria Ashford Vaughn, Chief Executive Officer, Vaughn Industries. On the back, in elegant handwriting, personal cell and a number. He didn't recognize the company name. Meant nothing to him. But he nodded. Polite. Thank you, ma'am. He put it in his pocket. Sophie suddenly hugged him, tight, around his waist. Thank you for being my friend. Elijah's first real smile. Genuine. You're welcome, Sophie. Merry Christmas. Victoria watched this. Her expression is unreadable. As Elijah turned to leave, she spoke. Elijah? He turned back. You have a good heart. Her voice was different now, softer. Don't let the world take that from you. It was said with weight, like she knew something he didn't, like a warning. Elijah nodded, didn't know what to say to that. He walked to the door. The security guard opened it, one step, from warmth to chaos. The VIP lounge door closed behind him. He was back in the terminal. The noise hit him like a wall, Christmas music blaring, people rushing, cold air from the entrance. He checked his watch. 8:47 p.m. The 8:15 bus was long gone. He pulled out his phone. 7 missed texts. Zara. Miss Ruth. He started typing. Sorry, got held up. Catching the morning bus. Tell Grandma I love her. His finger hovered over send. He didn't send it yet. Just stood there. In his thin shirt. In the cold terminal. Around him, families boarded trains. Carolers sang, We Wish You a Merry Christmas. The hot chocolate stand was still busy. Everyone is going somewhere warm, somewhere full of love. Elijah was alone again. He looked at the business card in his hand. Chief Executive Officer, Vaughn Industries. He had no idea what that meant. No idea who Victoria Vaughn really was. He shoved the card in his wallet, behind his school ID. He'd probably throw it out later. Right now, he needed to find the schedule for morning buses and figure out how to explain to Miss Ruth why he missed their Christmas Eve. Sophie was safe. That's what mattered, even if it cost him everything. What Elijah didn't know, what he couldn't know, was that behind that VIP lounge door, Ms. Reeves was already on her phone. Run a full background check. I want to know everything about Elijah Carter by morning. And Victoria Vaughn was watching him through the window, watching him walk away, already making plans. Elijah wouldn't think about that business card again for 3 days. By then, everything would be different. Christmas morning. He woke up on Miss Ruth's couch. Thin blanket. Sunlight through worn curtains. He'd caught the 6:00 a.m. bus. Arrived at 7:30. Exhausted. Miss Ruth and Zara had been disappointed, but understanding. They did their tradition anyway. Smaller, shorter, but still theirs. The 3-foot plastic tree, 15 years old. Some lights burned out. Gifts under it. Lavender hand cream for Grandma. $3.50. Hand-knitted socks from her. The used book for Zara. Sweet potato pie. Fried chicken. Collard greens. Small. Simple. Full of love. But Elijah felt the absence. This was supposed to be their full day together. He'd cut it short. For a stranger. Miss Ruth had the TV on. Local news. Morning broadcast. And in a heartwarming Christmas story, the daughter of tech billionaire Victoria Vaughn was briefly separated from her mother yesterday at Union Terminal. Elijah looked up. Stock footage on screen. Union Terminal exterior. Then photos of a woman in a business suit. Professional. Powerful. Speaking at a podium. Victoria Vaughn. Vaughn Industries, valued at over $4 billion, manufactures aerospace components and defense technologies. Mrs. Vaughn, who rarely gives personal interviews, released a statement thanking everyone involved in her daughter's safe return. $4 billion. Elijah sat frozen. The woman from the terminal, the one who gave him the card, was a billionaire. He reached into his pocket, pulled out the card. Chief Executive Officer, Vaughn Industries. "Oh," he whispered. Zara looked over. "What's that?" "Nothing. Just someone I helped yesterday." She grinned. "Did you finally get a girlfriend?" He didn't laugh. Miss Ruth was still watching the news. "That poor woman. Imagine. All that money and power. Still almost lost what matters most." She shook her head. "Those tech people work too hard. Always on their phones, always traveling. That little girl probably barely sees her mama." Elijah remembered Sophie's words. "My mommy works a lot. She's always on her phone." He felt a pang of sympathy. The news segment ended, moved on to the weather. Elijah stared at the card. "If you ever need anything." He thought about his rent, $680. Due tomorrow, about Zara's boots, the ones with holes, about how $4 billion could solve every problem he had in 5 seconds. But you don't call a billionaire for help. That's not how the world works. She was just being polite. He put the card in his wallet, behind his school ID. He'd throw it out later. That night, riding the bus home, he thought about Victoria's last words. "You have a good heart. Don't let the world take that from you." Why did she say it like a warning? When he got home, there was a notice on the door. Bright yellow paper. Official letterhead. Final notice. Payment required by 12/26 or eviction proceedings begin 12/27. Tomorrow was December 26th. The fairy tale was over. Reality was back. What Elijah didn't know was that Victoria Vaughn never forgot a debt, and she'd been watching him since the moment he walked away. December 26th, 6:00 a.m. Elijah stared at his ceiling. Hadn't slept much. The eviction notice was on his kitchen counter. Yellow paper. Impossible deadline. He had $143 in his bank account. Rent was $680. The math didn't work. His plan? Talk to Mr. Kowalski. Beg for an extension until January 3rd, his next paycheck. Offer to do maintenance work to make up the difference. It probably wouldn't work, but he had to try. At school, his guidance counselor called him in. Mr. Hassan, good guy, genuinely cared, but couldn't fix everything. Elijah, we need to talk about college applications. Elijah sat down, already tired. You missed the early decision deadlines. I know you're working. I know you're taking care of Zara, but without financial aid secured soon. Hassan paused, careful with his words. Are you sure you can't push graduation to fall? Give yourself time to... I need to work full-time, sir. Zara needs stability. You're going to sacrifice your future for... She's my sister. Elijah's voice was firm. It's not a sacrifice. Hassan looked sad, but he didn't argue. That afternoon, Elijah went to his shift at Rosie's. Gloria met him at the door, concerned eyes. You okay, baby? You look exhausted. I'm fine, Miss Gloria. He wasn't fine. He was thinking about the eviction, about Zara switching schools, about failing the one job that mattered, keeping their family together. At 4:37 p.m., his phone rang. Unknown number. He ignored it, couldn't answer during his shift. It rang again immediately. Gloria waved him toward the back. Answer it, honey. Might be important. Elijah stepped into the kitchen. Hello? Professional woman's voice. Am I speaking with Elijah Carter? Yes. Mr. Carter, this is Patricia Reeves. We met briefly on Christmas Eve at Union Terminal. I'm Chief of Staff for Mrs. Victoria Vaughn. Elijah's heart jumped. Is Sophie okay? A pause, then warmth in her voice. Sophie is fine. Mrs. Vaughn would like to speak with you. Are you available this evening? I work until 7. We can send a car to pick you up after your shift. Mrs. Vaughn is in the city for business. She'd like to meet in person. Elijah's mind raced. About what? She'll explain everything. Will you come? He should say no. This felt too big, too strange. But the eviction notice flashed in his mind, and something else, curiosity. Okay, I'll meet her. Excellent. A driver will be at Rosie's Diner at 7:15, black sedan. She hung up. The next 2.5 hours crawled. Elijah dropped a tray of glasses, apologized. Gloria told him not to worry, but he couldn't focus. What did Victoria Vaughn want? At 7:15, a black Mercedes pulled up outside. The driver got out. Older man, suit, professional. Elijah Carter? Elijah nodded, still in his diner uniform, smelling like fryer oil. Gloria watched from the window, eyes wide. The drive took 15 minutes, across town to the Four Seasons Hotel. Elijah had never been anywhere this nice. Marble lobby, chandeliers, people in expensive clothes. They took the elevator to the 24th floor, penthouse level. Miss Reeves met him at the door. Mr. Carter, thank you for coming. The suite was massive, floor-to-ceiling windows, city lights below, modern furniture, conference table with laptops. This wasn't a personal visit. This was business. Victoria stood by the window, on a phone call. She gestured for him to sit. Sophie was in the corner, pajamas, iPad. It was after 8 p.m. She saw Elijah, lit up. Elijah! She ran over, hugged him. He smiled despite his nerves. Hey, Sophie. Victoria ended her call, turned around. Business attire, hair perfect. This was CEO Victoria, not the crying mother from Christmas Eve. Elijah, thank you for coming. I'm sure you're wondering why. Yes, ma'am. She sat across from him, direct eye contact. I'm going to be direct because I respect your time. I looked into you. Elijah tensed. You looked into me? Yes. I had my team run a background check. I know about your parents. I know about your sister, your grandmother. I know you're 17, working full-time hours while in high school. I know you're 3 days from being evicted. Heat flooded Elijah's face. Humiliation. Anger. Why would you? Victoria held up a hand. Not unkind. Because you had every reason to walk away from my daughter. You were broke, exhausted, had your own family emergency, and you stayed anyway. That tells me something about your character that I value. Elijah didn't know what to say. Victoria continued. I didn't become successful by ignoring talent when I see it. What you did on Christmas Eve, the decision-making, the resourcefulness, the integrity, those aren't common traits. I just helped a kid. You sacrificed your own needs for a stranger, without hesitation, without expectation of reward. Do you understand how rare that is? Ms. Reeves spoke up. Mrs. Vaughn receives hundreds of requests for help every week, people who feel entitled to her resources. You refused money, twice. Victoria leaned forward. I'm not here to give you charity, Elijah. I'm here to offer you an opportunity. She slid a folder across the table. Elijah opened it, hands shaking. Inside, a scholarship letter. MIT logo at the top. Full tuition, 4 years. A stipend agreement. $2,000 per month for living expenses. Documentation about a boarding school. Riverside Academy. Full scholarship for Zara. A caretaker program for Miss Ruth. In-home health aid. Fully funded. Elijah stared. The words wouldn't process. I don't understand. There's one condition, Victoria said. Elijah looked up, waiting for the catch. You work for me. Part-time during school. Full-time in summers. I'm starting a new division at Vaughn Industries. Social impact technology. I need someone who understands what it means to be overlooked, to fight for survival, to make impossible choices. Someone with integrity. Elijah's brain was short-circuiting. You're offering me a job? At your company? I'm offering you a future. MIT is one of the best engineering schools in the world. You'll graduate with zero debt, real-world experience at a Fortune 500 company, and connections that will set you up for life. Why me? Victoria's expression softened, just slightly. Because 10 years ago, someone gave me an opportunity I didn't deserve yet. A mentor who saw something in me and took a risk. I've been looking for the right person to pay that forward to. She paused. And on Christmas Eve, you walked into my life. Sophie climbed onto Victoria's lap. Mommy says you're going to work with us now. Victoria smiled. If Elijah says yes. Then to Elijah, I don't make offers like this often, but when I commit to someone, I commit fully. You kept my daughter safe. Now let me help keep your family safe. Elijah stared at the folder. MIT. Zara was taken care of. Miss Ruth with support. His entire future. Rewritten in one meeting. I need to think about it. Victoria nodded. Respected that. Of course. But Elijah, your rent is due in 9 hours. Whatever you decide, let me at least handle that. As a thank you. No strings. She slid a check across the table. $5,000. Consider it payment for the 40 minutes you spent protecting the most important person in my world. Elijah walked out of that hotel with a check in his pocket and a choice that would define his entire life. 9:47 p.m. He left the Four Seasons, declined the car service, needed to walk, to think. The check was folded in his pocket, $5,000. The folder was under his arm. MIT, his entire future in 20 pages. Snow fell softly. The city was quiet. His mind was chaos. 3 blocks away, he found a bench in a small park. Sat down, pulled out his phone, called Miss Ruth. FaceTime. She answered. Zara is visible in the background. Baby, where are you? It's almost 10. Grandma, something happened. He told them everything. The meeting, the offer, the check. Silence. Then Miss Ruth's voice, thick with emotion. Read me that scholarship letter again. Elijah did. Slowly. Every word. Miss Ruth started crying. She never cried. MIT? Baby, that's... Your daddy would have... She couldn't finish. Zara grabbed the phone. Elijah, are you serious? Pure excitement. No hesitation. But you'd have to go to boarding school. I wouldn't be there. Elijah, I'm 14. I'm not a baby. If you don't take this because of me, I'll literally never forgive you. Her voice cracked. You've been taking care of me for 3 years. Go to MIT. I'll be fine. Pause. Just visit on weekends sometimes? Miss Ruth took the phone back, face close to camera, serious. Elijah Carter, you listen to me. You've been carrying this family since you were 14. You think I don't see it? You think I don't know what you've sacrificed? But, no buts. You are 17 years old. You should be worrying about prom, not rent checks. This is a miracle, baby. We don't question miracles. Elijah's vision blurred. I'm scared. Good. That means you're paying attention. Now go back and say yes. They hung up. His phone rang again. Unknown number. Hello? Elijah, it's Gloria. Miss Gloria. Ms. Reeves called me 2 days ago. Character reference. Baby, is this real? I think so. Then you take it. You hear me? This is your chance. Don't let fear steal your future. They said goodbye. Elijah stood, started walking back. He made his decision. The front desk called up to the suite. Is it too late? Can I speak with Mrs. Vaughn again? Ms. Reeves. She's been waiting. Back in the suite, almost 11 p.m. Victoria at the conference table, laptop open, still working. Sophie asleep on the couch. Victoria looked up. You came back. I want to say yes, but I need to understand something first. Victoria closed her laptop. Full attention. Ask me anything. Why are you really doing this? You're a businesswoman. This is a huge investment. What do you actually get? Victoria smiled slightly. Impressed. Fair question. Honest answer? I get someone with integrity in my company. I get to shape a leader who understands real struggle. And selfishly, I get to prove to my daughter that kindness matters. Pause. But you want to know if there's a catch? Is there? Yes. Several. Victoria counted on her fingers. First, you'll work hard. Harder than ever. I don't believe in handouts. This is an investment. I expect returns. Elijah nodded. Second, you'll be scrutinized. People will know you're connected to me. Some will resent it. Think you didn't earn it. You'll have to prove them wrong every day. Third, if you fail, academically, ethically, professionally, the offer ends. This is an opportunity, not a safety net. She held his gaze. Can you handle that? Elijah stood straighter. I've been scrutinized my whole life, Mrs. Vaughn. I've been the poor kid, the black kid, the one teachers don't expect much from. I'm used to proving people wrong. Victoria's smile widened, genuine. Good. Then we understand each other. She extended her hand. Do we have a deal? Elijah shook it, firm. Yes, ma'am. Ms. Reeves brought out a tablet. MIT's spring semester starts in 3 weeks. 3 weeks? Victoria raised an eyebrow. Is that a problem? Elijah thought about his apartment, his job, packing his entire life, then the eviction notice. No, it's not a problem. As they wrapped up, Elijah pulled out the check. Mrs. Vaughn, about this. That's yours. No conditions. It's too much. It's exactly what you need, plus moving expenses, signing bonus. Elijah's hands shook holding it. Thank you. I don't have words. Victoria's voice softened. You don't need words, Elijah. You already showed me who you are. Now go show the world. Sophie woke up, walked over sleepily. Are you staying? Elijah knelt. I'm going to be around a lot, Sophie. Your mom gave me a job. Sophie's eyes went wide. Really? So we're friends forever? Elijah laughed. Actually laughed. Yeah, friends forever. She hugged him, whispered, I told Mommy you were magic. Elijah walked out for the second time that night, but everything was different. Same snow, same city, same Elijah, but the weight on his shoulders, gone. For the first time in 3 years, he could breathe. He texted Zara, I did it. We're going to be okay. Her response was immediate. We're going to it! For the first time since his parents died, Elijah cried, not from fear, from relief. Around him, the city lights twinkled. Christmas decorations are still glowing. The world continues its celebration. And finally, Elijah was invited to join. What happened next wasn't just about one boy's life changing. It was about what happened when kindness became contagious. January. The immediate changes Elijah's apartment. Rent paid in full. Lease broken amicably. Mr. Kowalski helped him pack. You're a good kid, Elijah. I always knew you'd make something of yourself. Elijah left him a $200 tip, all he could spare from the signing bonus. Zara moved to Riverside Academy, prestigious boarding school, full scholarship. First FaceTime from her dorm. Elijah, my roommate's dad is a senator. This is insane. Scared, but excited. Miss Ruth got her in-home health aide, Marcy, 3 days a week. This woman made me lunch today. Lunch. I haven't had someone cook for me in 20 years. Happy tears. February, MIT. Begins campus orientation overwhelmed Elijah. Everyone seemed to know 20 programming languages already. His roommate's dad ran a hedge fund. Imposter syndrome hit hard. First call with Victoria. Now just Victoria in professional settings. How are you really doing? I'm terrified I don't belong here. Good. That means you're paying attention. Fear keeps you sharp. Now get to work. March. The company work. Elijah's role at Vaughn Industries, social impact technology intern. Remote. Part-time. His first project, research solutions for accessible technology in low-income schools. He drew from personal experience. Wrote a proposal for subsidized tech labs. Victoria read it, called him. This is good. Let's implement it. Find 5 schools to pilot. Wait, actually implement it? That's what you're here for. Make it happen. April. First school pilot Roosevelt High. Elijah's old school, chosen first. Vaughn Industries donated 30 laptops, software licenses, tech training for teachers. Mr. Hassan, the guidance counselor, called. You did this? For us? Someone gave me a shot. Now I'm giving other kids the same chance. Local news covered it. Tech giant partners with local students to bridge digital divide. Elijah's photo in the paper. Uncomfortable, but proud. May. The ripple effect. Other companies reached out, wanted to replicate the model. Elijah was asked to speak at a tech conference. 17 years old, terrified. He did it anyway. His quote, "A year ago, I was 3 days from eviction. Now I'm helping design programs for millions of kids. That didn't happen because I'm special. It happened because one person saw potential and took a risk. Summer. Full-time work. Elijah at Vaughn Industries HQ. Boston office. Met engineering teams. Shadowed executives. One meeting. Aerospace contracts. A VP dismissed a junior engineer's idea. Elijah spoke up, quietly. Actually, that idea has merit. What if we approached it from... He sketched on the whiteboard. The room went quiet. Victoria from the corner. Explain that. He did. Clearly. Confidently. The VP nodded. Let's explore that. After the meeting, Victoria pulled him aside. You held your own in there. Well done. September. 1 year later. The anniversary of Christmas Eve. Elijah in his second year at MIT. Thriving. Vaughn Industries' social impact division had expanded. 50 schools with tech labs, 1,200 students with laptops, 25 scholarships for low-income STEM students. Elijah was the public face of the program. The media coverage. Boston Globe. Feature. From busboy to boardrooms. How one act of kindness sparked a movement. The story detailed everything. Elijah's background, the Christmas Eve encounter, Victoria's decision, the ripple effect. Reader comments poured in. This is what corporate responsibility should look like. That kid is going to change the world. We need more Victorias and more Elijahs. The community response. At Roosevelt High, students now had college prep resources Elijah helped design. 3 students from his graduating class got tech scholarships because of his program. Damon, a former classmate, texted, Bro, I got into Georgia Tech because of the coding camp your program funded. I owe you everything. Elijah texted back, You don't owe me, pay it forward. Rosie's Diner. Gloria framed the Boston Globe article, hung it by the register. Customers asked, That's the kid who used to work here? That's our Elijah, Gloria said proudly. The diner saw increased business. People wanted to eat where the miracle kid worked. Gloria used the extra income to give her staff raises. Sophie's Impact Sophie, now 7, started a kindness club at her private school. Inspired by Elijah's story, kids pledged one kind act per week. They raised $10,000 for local homeless shelters. Sophie FaceTimed Elijah. Look, I'm being like you. Elijah grinned. You're doing better than me, Sophie. The scale. What started with one boy helping one girl had now touched thousands of lives. 50 schools, 1,200 students, 25 futures changed. And it was still growing. Because kindness multiplies. Always. But the real test came 1 year later, on another snowy Christmas Eve. December 24th, Union Terminal, 7:30 p.m. Elijah was back. Same 20-foot Christmas tree, same lights flashing, same jingle bells playing. But Elijah was different. New North Face coat, waterproof boots, confident stride. He was catching a train to Boston. Victoria invited him and Zara for Christmas with her and Sophie. Ticket ready. Platform 8, 40 minutes until departure. As he walked through the crowd, he saw her. Teenage girl, 15 maybe, Latina, exhausted, crying toddler in a stroller, screaming, inconsolable. The girl panicked, phone to ear. Come on, pick up! No answer. People rushed past. No one stopped. Elijah checked his watch. 40 minutes. He could keep walking. Get to Boston. Perfect Christmas. But he remembered Victoria's words. Don't let the world take that from you. He remembered Sophie's terrified face. He walked over. Hey, are you okay? The girl looked up, suspicious. I'm fine. You don't look fine. Can I help? She broke. My mom's in the hospital, Hartford. I missed my bus. My brother won't stop crying. I don't know what to do. Elijah saw himself a year ago. Okay, Let's get your brother settled. The family room is over there. Do you have diapers? She nodded, dazed. He helped her to the family room, bought snacks from the vending machine, crackers, juice boxes, didn't hesitate. When she came out, he handed them over. For your brother. She started crying. Thank you. Elijah pulled out his wallet, his business card. Elijah Carter, Social Impact Coordinator, Vaughn Industries. Wrote his cell number on the back. Text me when you get to Hartford. And if you ever need help, job reference, scholarship recommendation, anything, call me. She stared at the card. Why are you helping me? Elijah smiled. Because someone helped me when I needed it most. Now it's my turn. He checked the bus schedule, found the next Hartford bus, bought her ticket, $47. Didn't think twice. Walked her to the platform, made sure she was settled. I don't even know your name, she said. Elijah. I'm Rosa. I won't forget this. Just pay it forward, that's all I ask. Elijah made his train, 5 minutes to spare. Texted Victoria. Running late, helped someone. Her response, of course you did, proud of you. Boston's South Station. Victoria and Sophie are waiting. Sophie ran and hugged him. Victoria shook his hand. Merry Christmas, Elijah. Merry Christmas, Victoria. They walked out together, started snowing. Sophie grabbed both their hands. Victoria glanced at Elijah. You did it again? He shrugged. It was nothing. It's never nothing. The three disappeared into the snowy night, a family created by kindness. Behind them, Rosa boarded her bus. She'd helped someone in 5 years. That person would help another. One act of kindness, infinite consequences. This isn't just Elijah's story. It's a reminder that we all have the power to change someone's life. Maybe you won't meet a billionaire. Maybe your act of kindness won't lead to MIT or a dream job. But that's not the point. The point is the choice itself. The moment when you see someone in need and decide to stop, to help, to care. Elijah could have walked away. Rosa could have struggled alone. But because one person chose compassion, 2 lives changed forever. So here's the question. Who can you help today? What small act of kindness can you do that might ripple out in ways you'll never see? If this story moved you, hit that like button. Subscribe to Black Tales Stories for more real-life inspiration. And most importantly, go out and be someone's miracle. Because you never know when your kindness might change everything. See you in the next one.